cheerleading. Do you have it? I do. I'm Carmela, I'm 20, and OMG, I want to tell you guys that this year, Aardvark Cheer is going all the way! Gonna be so lit. So if you see us at districts, you better watch out. I've been doing cheer since, forever. My mom had me practicing extensions at 10, and by the time I was 12, I was choreographing my own routines. I won Junior Jams Regionals with a routine to Beyoncé that was just halftime perfection. Cheer got me a scholarship to a pretty good school, if I do say so myself, and I was so boosted. On my first day, I walked into the gym and all these older girls who looked like they should have graduated ages ago were there. I didn't intend to be so rude, but when I saw them all just cooking the clock, I told them that I was here to be a champion, not part of a gang of losers. They just sat there, and it was like nobody could believe I would say anything. But seriously, I'm not trying to be all extra about it. They were planning a routine to the Spice Girls, and that was so, 1945 or something. I mean, she might as well have used Davy Crockett or something. Totes embarrassing. I was just stating the obvious, no cap, but this one total B, Sasha, told me that I was being, divisive or whatever. But it wasn't my fault. Half these bimbos thought I was wrong, but the girls with half a brain agreed with me. Well, apparently there was some big argument in the locker room later over little old me and what I said. I told my boyfriend Bobby, but he just asked why I was laughing. I told him these B's were being special, but Bobby said arguing doesn't usually help team spirit. Whatevs. Why should I worry about the team when half those brats didn't worry about me? Sasha started telling the girls that I didn't know what I was talking about, that I was just loud, and I guess she thought I was just going to let her get away with saying word without clapping back. So I told her, if you think that's loud, just get ready. Like I said, I was born ready, and no tangle-headed skank like Sasha was gonna out-cheer me. At practice, I pointed out every flaw she and her little clique of flying monkeys made. By the time Miss Candy, our cheer coach, found out about it, she made us settle with a vote. We would each present our routine, and the one with the most votes won. If there was a tie, Miss Candy would break it. So my group included Madison, Mackenzie, McKenna, and Michaela. We met before school the next day, and I was going to show everybody the routine. But when I started playing Beyoncé and taking them through the steps, they started looking like they were trying not to laugh. I finally asked what the problem was. Well, that's when Michaela told me the routine was really basic. Basic? Basic? I was not basic! They said my technique was great, but the song was overused. The girls insisted that we were going to have a great routine, we just needed some fresh ideas. I didn't want to admit it to myself, and I sure couldn't admit it to them, so I lashed out, and I told them they couldn't do any better. I left practice and even called Bobby crying. Later that night, he brought me some ice cream and told me there was nothing wrong with trying again. He said I shouldn't worry so much about telling everybody how great the routine was. I should work on improving it. The only trouble was I didn't really know what else to do. I had practiced these moves and songs, and it was just so ingrained into me. It was like muscle memory. But then I had an idea. Maybe I could help in other ways. The truth was I did have skills that I could help the team with, but that didn't mean I had to redesign their entire routine. I texted Sasha and said I was sorry for being so critical to everybody. The truth was I was just afraid to try something new, which is why I wanted everybody to do it my way. Sasha wasn't a brat at all, and she totally understood. The next morning at practice, Miss Candy gathered us all, but Sasha and I surprised everybody. Together, we came up with a whole new routine and showed it to the team. Everybody loved it, and we finally felt like a team. When I look back on how I was behaving, I discovered a lot of insecurities. We all have them, and that's okay. But being loud and rude to others isn't a healthy way to deal with things. In fact, it usually makes it worse. See, a lot of us grow up thinking that our fears will make us weak if we share them. But if you don't say your fears out loud, how can you overcome them? But if you say it out loud, others might relate, like Sasha did. It was easier for me to be loud and drown it all out, but then I think of what Bobby told me. An empty vessel makes much noise. So the next time you feel like being super critical, ask how you can improve yourself. People will be a lot more impressed with your actions than with your words. I could guarantee that. If you're tired of hiding your insecurities, share your story in the comments and don't forget to subscribe. And remember, when you share our stories, you're sharing wisdom. TTYL!